everyone, Richard Phillips back at you with some more modern action. Today we're going to be playing some Grixis Control with the new Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Very excited for this video. Unsure if Nicol Bolas Dragon God is even playable in modern, but we're certainly going to try. The last time that Nicol Bolas was printed, it was the 4 mana creature one that made your opponent discard a card. I played a Grixis shell with that, and it was my most popular video by like almost double any other video that I've ever produced. So hoping that it's the same trend here. So make sure you like and subscribe. I'll keep making videos like this. Grixis seems to be very popular. I appreciate the fact that you appreciate Grixis because I love playing it. I'm not going to pretend that I'm like the best Grixis player in the world, so please comment where you would make different lines than me. I play a lot of blue-white, as you know if you've followed my channel. So that's what I'm most comfortable with, but I can play pretty mean Grixis. This list in general is based around Corey Burkhart's, what was it, Pro Tour 25 Grixis list. I made just, a few changes just to slot in Nicol Bolas, which is in place of like a P and Kira Nalar. I'm still playing the same kind of Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, Terminate with the 1 Counter Squall package that he was with a couple of Tassigars. We got 27 lands today. We're trying out one, one Blast Zone here as the 27th, or 26 lands. 26 lands. Blast Zone is the 26th land. Originally, I was going to make it the 27th land, but 26 is fine. We're cutting 1 Field of Ruin to do that, so we only have 3 Field of Ruins, which could be wrong, but obviously with cards like Terminate and, Cryptic Command in the deck, it's really hard to have 5 colorless sources in the deck. We got 8 fetches. We got the usual lands here. It might be a little bit hard to get the triple black for Nicol Bolas because we only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have like 6 actual sources that tap for black in the whole deck. So we'll see. Sideboard's pretty standard. Playing a couple Alpine Moons today just because of how much Trons of online. We're also playing a couple of Ashioks for some of our worst matchups. It's also good against like Scape Shift and control decks and things like that. Is it Staticaster and the Anger of the Gods are for the humans decks that are popping up more. We got a little bit for the burn matchup, but hopefully we don't run into that because that's a really hard matchup to win. We don't really have any synergies with Nicol Bolas in terms of the static ability. I guess like Ashiok is our only, it's the only one, but that's not even very good. So maybe our opponent will play something like a Karn. Well, I guess the -3 is pretty similar to what we would do with a Karn. I don't know. Maybe the opponent will play like a Liliana and we can just use the Liliana. I mean, that's not very good. It's just like the same thing. Alright, well, we'll see what happens with it. It's pretty much the same as, but anyway, the +1 is about as good as you can possibly imagine. It's draw a card and the opponent loses a permanent, which is about perfect. The -3 kills something, and then opponents very rarely have legendary creatures or planeswalkers, so if we can actually just get this to stick around for the 5th turn, we just win the game, which is excellent. And yeah, we'll jump into League. Alright everyone, we've won the die roll, which is very important for this deck. And yeah, we'll keep this hand. It's not amazing, but we'll certainly keep it. We have Mismatched Scalding Tarns, which is kind of a staple on this channel. When something's going to be mismatched. We'll probably get a Watery Grave here unless we feel like we have to bolt something. Opponent's going to Thoughtseize us, Inquisition us. That's fine. They'll probably just take its command. If we draw Thought Scour, we can play a Tasker next turn, which is nice. Come on, Thought Scour. If not, we're still on schedule to get the Tassiger on turn 3. I mean, you have 2 options, opponent. Okay, they took the Culligan's Command. That was Counter Squall, that's not bad. Alright, we'll play the Scalding Tarn here because we would like to fill our graveyard for the turn 3 Tassiger. We can also think about just bolting our opponent, which would allow us to leave the Culligan's Command in our graveyard, especially if they're on Jund like this. So yeah, I guess we'll just Counter Squall this. We'll shock here. We'll get red, blue. Yes. Counter Squall this. 4 cards in the graveyard. We can play Tassiger, and we can even hold up Lightning Bolt, which is cool, or Fatal Push. So yeah, we'll go Island, and then we will... We should probably just leave the Culligan's Command in the graveyard, shouldn't we? Yeah, let's just do that. So we'll leave the Culligan's Command in the graveyard because that certainly represents the most value. If the opponent kills the Tassiger, then we have the ability to Snapcaster Mage it. If they play a Liliana here, it's going to be a little unfortunate. Yeah, there's the Liliana. All right, well, at least we'll be able to Culligan's Command it, and we can bolt the Liliana. Alright, so there's Steam Vents. We'll just play the Field of Ruin. And I think we actually want our opponent to make us both discard a card because we have an excess land and we'd like our opponent to discard a card. Pretty sure. Yeah, this seems fine. So we'll discard this land. Our opponent has significantly more cards in hand, so this Liliana is affecting both of us about equally. So sure, that's a Scavenging Ooze, that's fine. We can actually push the Scavenging Ooze and bolt the Liliana. So we'll go ahead and push that. Oh, opponent didn't even... Wow. Alright. Oops. Bolt the Liliana. Alright, so now we're both playing off the top of our library. Kind of. Yeah, there's land, that's fine. We'll pass the turn. We'll Field of Ruin our opponent's Raging Ravine. Opponent's on Jund, so they probably only have 4 basics in the deck. I'm actually just going to draw step Field of Ruin this Raging Ravine because they might not have a basic mountain in their deck, and this way they can't Bloodbraid Elf us. There's a lot of lists that are not playing Bloodbraid Elf. They're going to Culligan's Command, get back Scavenging Ooze, and shock us. I guess that's fine. Sure. It's not a great use of a Culligan's Command. And we'll get a Swamp. Alright. Culligan's Command, that's pretty excellent. Alright, so we will return and shock. So return target creature, deal 2 damage. So return this, shock that. We'll go 1, red, and that. And then we'll just play the Tassiger. So we'll go exile, exile, exile. I guess we'll just exile the board. That's probably fine. We should just leave 2 Culligan's Commands in the graveyard. Opponent Assassin Trophies us. Yeah, we'll use that. We'll get an island. Alright, we can get our second black source with this, which is nice. Or a third black source, so we can cast Nicol Bolas if we draw it. Opponent still doesn't have red mana, which is nice. Go ahead and... Oh, I guess we should have gotten the red land. Search for Ascanta. Okay, that's not the worst. Opponent reveals... Okay, well, at least we don't have anything in our hand for that, so... And our opponent does, so this is not a great Liliana. Opponent probably only has 1 more basic in their deck too, which is good. Yeah, opponent's not even using the Liliana. Okay. Hit with the Dark Confidant. See what we would like to with a Blast Zone. Oof. I think we're putting a Blast Zone in the graveyard just because we have so many good draws, and the Blast Zone is going to take like a whole turn, and it would also blow up our Search for Ascanta. So yes, yeah, we'll put that in the graveyard. And Sulfur Falls. Great. All Alright. Even a fetch land. Man, looks like we're just going to get junted out here. Get bolted down to 8. Okay. Deals another Dark Confidant. Alright, this is getting a little scary for the opponent. Like, 2 Dark Confidants isn't great, especially if we draw, like, some running Cryptic commands here. They're not going to be able to play both Dark Confidants and survive, you know, through them, probably, hopefully. Especially with us having bolts in our deck. And, like, Snapcaster Culligan's commands, too. So the opponent might honestly just, yeah, discard their Dark Confidant here. So we certainly need to draw something. They discard Inquisition. See if they cast the Dark Confidant. That's so greedy if they cast it. Because they could just die to it. Alright. Yeah, they could just hit like 2 Bloodbraid Elves here, and then that's the game. Let's see. Thought Scour. I guess Thought Scour is probably just worth drawing. The extra mana doesn't do that much. So we'll just main phase Thought Scour. We need to hit like Cryptic Command here, though. Bolt. Alright, well, this gives us a shot, so we need our opponent to deal themselves 5 damage off the 2 Dark Confidants. And we're still not dead next turn. So, we do have outs here. Okay, the opponent does bolt us. Alright, so now we have much fewer outs. I guess we could just bolt one of the Dark Confidants. That doesn't... There's Bloodbraid Elf. Alright, let's flip a 1-mana spell here with this Dark Confidant. Yep, they killed themselves with their own Bloodbraid Elves. That's awesome. Cool. I'm just gonna tell. I had a bolt, so... Alright. In this matchup, what do we like? What do we not like? The Nicol Bolas is he. I'll say, yeah, I'm recording. Said exactly that. I wonder how greedy. So in this matchup, honestly, like, our main deck is kind of almost exactly where we want to be. There's a chance that, like, this Counter Squall here is probably just not good. It doesn't hit enough things. So maybe we can bring in just, like, a Damnation to maybe, like, 2-for-1 our opponent, because it's really hard for this deck to kill, yeah, we'll just play, like, a Damnation. The Damnation will get us out of a few situations that, you know, everything else would probably... And, the Counter Squall is just not impactful. Alright, cool. We'll submit like that. Yeah, in this matchup, I mean, we're just not mulliganing 7. I do love the, some of the opponents are generally very nice, especially in friendly modern leagues like this. Opponents are a lot nicer than the competitive ones. Opponent's Inquisitioning us. I mean, I don't really know what they'll take, but makes our Logic Knots a little bit better. Okay, they take a Bolt. This probably means they have a Bob, and that's a little unfortunate for us, but we'll see. Polluted Delta. Yeah, we'll just start with the creeping tar pit. We'll be able to logic knot pretty much anything on 2. Okay, cool. This is excellent. Our hand's super redundant, so even if they like thought sees us here, yeah, sure, they take another logic knot. That's fine. Sometimes Jund just kind of loses to itself in this way, which is like their hand just doesn't do anything. Like they have Inquisition. They need something here to like follow up the fact that they just took 2 turns taking 2 spells that we weren't going to cast anything or cast anyway. It's like this isn't a tempo advantage for them in this matchup. Like the multiple Inquisition hand, they need something. Like they needed to go Inquisition into Bob because we didn't have any answers to Bob. If you just go like Inquisition to Inquisition and then you like try to slam a Liliana here and it doesn't work, like where you're not really anywhere, if that makes sense. Like you can also just pass the turn here, but then we'll just, you know, fetch a tap land and then play Scalding Tarn and still hold the, yeah, so like we'll counter this. Yeah, we'll just counter it as the big 1. That's fine. Especially with multiple cryptic commands, which are also mismatched. Excellent. We need all of our lands. It's a pretty good one. Play the Nicol Spellbomb, play a Scalding Tarn, and pass the turn. The Nicol Spellbomb's probably better than just a, you know, another random card in our deck, and it does make their Kolaghan's commands a little bit worse. So that's why I kept it in. Also theoretically makes their surgical extractions worse if they have surgical extractions. I don't know why they would have surgical extractions, but you know, opponents play weird cards sometimes. Yeah, Steam Vents. And there's no reason to just cycle this Nicol Spellbomb here, because especially if our opponent has Kolaghan's command and they just Kolaghan's command back the Fulminator Mage, that would be kind of sucky. And we already have a play for next turn. And then we have an answer for their Raging Ravine. Yeah, here it is. So here's Kolaghan's command. So do that, make us discard a card. So we will certainly blow up. Cool, we're going to discard. Huh. I guess we'll just discard a Cryptic command, right? Like we have this Search for Escanta that's going to come online. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. Okay, we drew a different land, which is fine, and we'll play the Delta, which is also fine, and then we can flip the Escanta next turn. So that Kolaghan's command was just like a 1-for-1 there, which was fine with us. Sure, opponent plays Tarmogoyf, that's fine. And plays, oh, an Assassin's Trophy. Interesting. All right. Yeah, we'll fetch here anyway. Like I said, we'll get green, or yeah, we'll get the blue card here, and we'll get an island with that one. Thought Scour. All right, that's not the worst. We'll start off by Thought Scouring ourselves and a Polluted Delta. Okay. Ooh, we should have played for the Raging Ravine. Actually, we're probably just going to take the hit anyway. We'll see. If the opponent goes to animate it, we might just bounce it. No, okay, so they're just gonna hit us. That's fine. Yep. Take it. All right, not playing anything. that's a nice draw. All right, so we'll play the Field of Ruin, and then we're going to cast Tasigur. We definitely want to exile the Search for Ascanta because that'll shrink the Goyf. And we also want to take the Nihil Spellbomb out because that'll also shrink the Goyf. And then we can just take some lands. So now it's a 2/3 Tarmogoyf. And we have Field of Ruin up still. Plus the ability to activate our Tasigur. That's probably worth countering. So we'll get rid of this Raging Ravine here. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get another island. And then we will counter the Assassin's Trophy and draw a card. We can actually bolt the Tarmogoyf, which is kind of funny. See what the opponent's last card in hand is. Even like a Bloodbraid Elf doesn't necessarily get us here. I think they would have just slammed a Bloodbraid Elf, though, if they had it. Also, just for what it's worth, I don't like the Jund list that play so many Assassin's Trophies. Like, sure, they got rid of our Search for Ascanta, but in general, I just don't think they're that good. So we play the island here. I doubt our opponent can just get us here, so we might as well just bolt it and see what happens. Like, if they get us, then sure, opponent played that well. Sure. Okay, so that just worked. And then we can just attack our opponent, and then we can draw a card off of the Tasigur. And it's probably not worth doing it here in case our opponent draws a discard spell. Ooh, Fulminator Mage. Okay, well that's a card. I don't think it's amazing here, but certainly is a card. We will not be able to cast Nicol Bolas if we draw it, which is a little unfortunate, but that's fine. So we'll go ahead and do this. Activate Tasigur. Ooh, put Nicol Bolas in the graveyard. Seems pretty sweet. Opponent can't give us that one, but we'll get something here where we could probably cast. We'll probably get either a Logic Knot or a Lightning Bolt or something like that. Yeah, there's a Lightning Bolt. Sure. We'll just accumulate the Lightning Bolts. Alright, so now the opponent will block and then destroy the Creeping Tar Pit, and then we'll use Thought Scour with the mana there. Sure, so there's the block, then they'll kill the Creeping Tar Pit, and we'll just Thought Scour ourselves. Colligan's Command, that's pretty nice. The opponent just has one card in hand. We still have not hit a Snapcaster Mage, which is unfortunate, so I might just hold on to the Colligan's Command until we hit a Snapcaster Mage, but we're really racking in the value now. Opponent does have a basic mountain in their deck. Interesting. I thought they would have fetched it out last game, but, you know, whatever. Huh, still no Tasigur. Or still no Snapcaster Mage. Continue milling ourselves, trying to hit a Snapcaster Mage. Do not find it. Okay. Now we can activate Tasigur twice, which is good. So there are 4 Snapcaster Mages in our bottom 23 cards. There's 4 Snapcaster Mages. That's pretty wild. Sure. Dark Confidant, that's fine. We'll just terminate it. Opponent gives us back Nicol Bolas. Nice. So maybe we'll get to cast it here. We'll see. There's damnation. Alright. Black. Oh, we can't even cast it. That's so funny. Alright. We've gone through like a majority of our deck and just cannot cast our spells. Cool. So yeah, this Nicol Bolas obviously appears to be very difficult to cast with the deck. I guess we have had a couple of lands destroyed and I didn't search out. Oh, opponent's gonna watch our Esper video for the last bit. That's cool. Alright, so we'll go down to 4. And we'll just pass the turn to our opponent. We can kill them, but there's not really any reason to here. We'll, you know, just let our opponent... Yeah, because our opponent, bolts us. Alright, so now we'll just kill them. Yeah, you discard, shock it. Cool. Alright, 1-0 with Grixis. Alright, welcome everyone to round number 2. Boy, this hand. We're on the draw. I don't think we can keep this, right? Like, yeah, I think we got a mulligan. I mean, this hand is not any better. All right, we'll keep our 3rd land. That's fine. Storm, Phoenix, something like that. Storm or Phoenix. All right, we'll start with the carpet. Yeah, it looks like Storm or Phoenix. Yeah, that's rough. That's pretty rough. Alright, there's our Snapcaster Mage. I guess we're just gonna shock this and play Search for Azcanta. Like, we need to figure out some way to win this game, and I think Search for Azcanta might give us the best chance at that. We don't have a good answer to Pyromancer's Ascension at all, like, anywhere in the deck. Right? Like, even sideboard. Let's see what we got sideboard-wise. We got... Ashiok. I guess that's our best bet here is the Ashiok. Alright, there's Sleight of Hand. Fortunately, our opponent somehow has not put any counters on it. But then they'll probably just discard 2 Phoenixes here. This matchup kind of seems abysmal. So, we'll see. I guess we're going to bring in... Anger seem rough, too. Like, they don't even hit everything. Alright, they got 8 Phoenix. 4 cards in hand still. Delta. I think we actually want that, so we'll not put that in the graveyard. We'll draw it. We'll start off by Thought Scouring ourselves. Draw Steam Vents. Alright, we'll play Polluted Delta and fetch out a tap land. We do need another black source, so I guess we'll get black-red here. And then we'll have Cryptic Command up next turn. Sure. Ooh, Crackling Drake. Wow. Alright, well, now we're kind of getting destroyed here. Alright, so we'll get black, red. Opponent draws a card up to 4 cards in hand. Yeah, we'll put that in the graveyard. It is painless, but I think we're a little bit far behind now. Alright, so we're going to have to string together a bunch of Cryptic Commands here and still somehow figure out how to beat the Pyromancer's Ascension. Like, our best bet might honestly be to just, when they go to put the second counter on the Ascension, bounce it and tap our opponent's team. Like we're getting real low in terms of. All right, so the opponent uses the Serum Visions. Problem is that our opponent just replaces their hand each. Like they put one on top, one on the bottom. All right, there goes Faithless Looting. So we'll wait until our opponent puts, I guess, the second counter on the Ascension. Hopefully they don't find another Phoenix. In fact, they're... Okay, cool. So it's just 2 lands. They're going to go to combat here. So I guess here we'll tap down, draw a card. And then next turn, I guess we'll try to bounce the Pyromancer's Ascension. Because I don't want to just bounce it here because they're going to be able to draw or just cast it again, which doesn't seem very good. We could also theoretically play Nicol Bolas here. We could play Nicol Bolas and minus on the Crackling Drake and see if the opponent tries to kill the Nicol Bolas with the attack, which might be fine. We do get to flip the Search for Azcanta here too. Maybe. See if the opponent doubles up their counters here on the Ascension. Because if they do that, then we're going to have to upkeep, tap, bounce. Then target Faithless Looting. Okay. And then they play a Manamorphose. Okay. So they are going to try to like go off here a little bit, I guess. Down to just 2 cards in hand, though, which is nice. Right, Lightning Axe and another Ascension. Bolts us down to 3. Okay. So we are going to have to do the bounce or tap, bounce the Ascension. Yes, put that in the graveyard, transform Azcanta. There's an island that's pretty good, too. Island. The most mana efficient thing to do here would be to just play the Snapcaster Mage and bounce everything or tap everything and bounce the Ascension. So we'll go do that. So we'll play Snapcaster Mage, target Cryptic Command. We'll return target permanent, tap everything. So we'll return that and tap everything. And then this way, the opponent will need to cast a bunch more spells in order to get the Pyromancer's Ascension on board. So even if they have... Yeah, so there you go. And they can't even flash back. Yeah, all right, so they get 1 spell here. We can make our opponent discard a card with our Kolaghan's Command next turn, as well as Cryptic Command. 1 card in hand. Another Snapcaster Mage. Alright. So we'll play with Ruin. We're still on the tap down every turn plan. So we'll attack our opponent for 2 here. Alright, so we might honestly just counter, or if we'll see what this is. We'll see if this puts a counter on the Pyromancer's Ascension or not. So it is a Faithless Looting. Alright, so I think what we're going to do here is we're going to make our opponent discard a card and shock them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So our opponent discards and we shock them. Alright. And then we will then we'll tap all creatures No, I guess we just have to let this go, don't we? Yeah, we have to let this go. Because if they get back this other Arclight Phoenix, that's really bad for us. Alright, so now, beginning of combat, we will return target permanent to its owner's hand and tap. Tap all creatures. Yeah, so return this, tap them. That's fine. We weren't really going to be able to beat that anyway. So, there we go. That's us dying. Alright. So, in this matchup, the Ashiok seem really good. The Counter Squall seems pretty good. The Damnation seems good. The Angers are probably okay. The Surgical seem good. Cards that are not great are Lightning Bolts. Kolaghan's Command's not great. These Nicol Bolases aren't good. We'll keep one in just because that's what this deck is. It's a Nicol Bolas deck right now. And actually making our opponent discard isn't the worst, but yeah, I think we'll just go like this. The bolts don't kill the thing in the ices. Maybe the Collective Brutalities are worth it. Nah, probably not. Yeah, we'll just submit like this. So yes, we would love to play first. This hand seems very good. Spell Snare is like one of the best cards against our opponent. We'll start with Grave tapped. Our opponent probably has Blood Moon, and this hand is going to have a little bit of trouble beating that, but I mean, this deck doesn't really beat Blood Moon to begin with. It's not even really a good answer in these colors for Blood Moon. Like, I mean, sure, you can try, but your best bet is to just be able to Cryptic Command through it or counter it on the way down. I think we're going to have to wait a turn on the Search for Discontent just because we can't beat a Pyromancer's Ascension if it resolves. Okay, the opponent doesn't have anything, which is good. Opponent probably has a Spell Pierce or a Negate. I think I'm just going to leave that uncracked. Jeez, Damnation. Alright. We're still going to pass. I might run out of Snapcaster Mage, depending on what our opponent does here, but, I mean, if they're not doing anything on 2, sure, they're just going to opt here. That's fine. Alternatively, I don't think they can just jam a Blood Moon without a blue source here, so that's good. Yeah, this is something we'll counter. No, never mind. We're not going to counter a Manamorphose. Opponent can definitely have a Manamorphose. That's fine. Oh, boy. Alright, looting. See how many Phoenixes they have. 2. It's a lot of Phoenixes. And bolts us. Alright. Gonna get back these Phoenixes. We'll just get a tap land. Yeah, this is looking bad. Spell Snare is really good against a lot of the hands the opponent could have. I doubted that they would go for like the ultra aggressive line that they did. But they did, so that's good on our opponent. We can Cryptic Command to tap them down, draw a card. But yeah, this matchup, the Phoenix matchup, is terrible. That's one of the reasons why people aren't really playing Grixis right now, is because of how bad this matchup is. All right, so we'll counter that and tap all your opponents. There, it's a counter, tap. We just need to run our opponent out of resources somehow, and they could certainly have like a Spell Pierce or something here. I mean, yeah, Dispel, sure. All right, Bolt will kill us here. We can Damnation next turn and hope the opponent just doesn't have enough spells to bring back Phoenixes. Alright, Serum Visions. Tops, bottoms. Yeah. We need to draw a land here and then hope the opponent doesn't have anything. Okay, we drew a land. Now we just need to hope the opponent doesn't have anything. Alright, everyone, welcome to round 3. Our opponent, we kept this hand, our opponent mulliganed, played a bird, and we'll just push the bird. It was an excellent draw off the top. Especially if our opponent only has 4 cards in hand, we're definitely going to just push their first play. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Some sort of self-mill strategy, I'm assuming, with this crab. It's kind of cool. We're going to get hit with like a... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could get hit with like a Gurmag Angler here. No, Gravecrawler. Huh. This is a weird deck, but okay. I mean, our opponent's doing stuff. I guess we'll start off by Thought Scouring ourselves. Maybe we'll hit a fetch land. Hit a mountain. Yeah, we'll play the mountain. We got all our colors. It's going to take a little bit of work here, but... And I'm not going to bolt either of these things. I'm assuming our opponent has some sort of payoff. It might not, honestly. I don't know. Sure. Okay, they brought back a Bird's Paradise. It's weird. They're going to claim the Hedron also. I don't know. Should I, like, bolt? I'm not going to bolt one of those. I don't know what's going on. Alright. Field of Ruin, and I guess we'll pass the turn. We'll see what kind of nonsense our opponent has for us here. Like, I'm cool just taking 3 here. Taking 3 here. This is fine. Drown in Filth. Okay. Oh, Vengevines. That makes a little bit more sense then. I still don't understand where... Oh, they're just playing another Gravecrawler. Ah, okay. This makes a little bit more sense. Alright, sure. They got the Gravecrawler. We're certainly not going to bolt them. Alright, so the opponent has some cool stuff going on. Our best draw would probably just be Nihil Spellbomb. Opponent gets to mill us. Alright, they don't have green mana, which is good. No more Vengevines. Another bolt. Alright, well, we can interact interact with them with our cryptic commands now. We can also snap push something. So they only have 2 zombies right now, so they would need to draw another zombie in order to... heal themselves. This is fine. They need 2 creatures to cast the Vengeful. Scab Ruinator's cool. It's additional cost, exile 3 creatures from your graveyard. You may cast it from your graveyard. Wow, alright. So I guess we're just taking this, because we're going to have to counter the stupid Scab Ruinator. Anger seems really good in this matchup. Alright, so we'll counter this draw card. Alright, there's a Field of Ruin. And a Scalding Tarn. Alright, so I guess I'll play the Scalding Tarn, which means that we can eventually interact well with our opponent here. We are just getting beat down by these grave crawlers at like an unreasonably fast pace. Opponent doesn't have another way to really cast this. They need to exile 3 creatures. They only have like 1, and it's a bad one to do anyway. All right, so they're gonna claim that. We'll just bolt it. That's fine. So now I think we're going to do the push, or the Snapcaster push plan. We have to take a lot of damage for that. Oh, no, I guess we don't. All right, so we'll cast Snapcaster Mage, target push one of the Grave Crawlers, block the other one, and they don't have any, they don't have any zombies on the battlefield, so they can't cast their Grave Crawlers back. So we'll block this one and push the other one. Alright, we'll get red-black here. Nice, a Logic Knot's really good too. We can get our 3rd black source with this Field of Ruin. And then we can cast Nicol Bolas next turn. I also doubt that our opponent has another land. Hedron Crab. I guess that one's fine. We might need the Cryptic Command to tap stuff down. But that's just a crab. It's not a zombie. Jace of Rin's Prodigy. Wow. Alright. So we'll get rid of this source, I guess. Now we're getting a swamp, aren't we? So we guess we can't do this the way that we want to. So what I'd like to do here is Logic Knot the Jace and then bolt the Vengevine. So we can do this. Yeah, but then we get the swamp, right? Oh no, we can do that still. All right, we can do this still. So we'll go ahead and counter this. And thus they pay 2. Sure. So the Jace is countered. Okay. So then we'll let our opponent go to combat and attack with it. And we will bolt it. basic. Okay. A couple of Satyr Wayfinders. Alright, so we'll go ahead and cast our Nicol Bolas. Our opponent can cast a claim on the Hedron Crab, but that's not amazing. Opponent will either have to discard a card or exile one of their lands, neither of which seems very good for them. Or, sorry, destroy one of their lands, right? Sacrifice it. Oh, exiles. No, exiles. Cool. And then we can begin to leverage our Cryptic Command. We'll probably play this Polluted Delta. We aren't necessarily going to crack it. Opponent still only has one Vengevine. Draw a card. Okay, now that's definitely a reason to play it, because we can just use it to block. So the opponent either needs to get rid of a land. They can cast like the Scab Ruinator again. They exiled a Scab Ruinator that they had in hand. Interesting. Alright, so we're not out of the woods yet. See if they drew exactly a 1-mana creature. If they did, that would be kind of rough. And this thing's a zombie. Ooh, so they can cast the Gravecrawler. Wow, alright. Jeez. Okay. Well, this Cryptic Command is going to be on duty here. Sure. So they get back the Vengevine. And then they get to go to combat and attack us for 4. And I guess we'll just not block with the Snapcaster Mage. Okay, they're just going to attack us. Steam Vents. We'll take it down to 2. So now we just need to down, I guess. Creeping Tar Pit. That's a win con eventually. They're only at 12, so theoretically the Nicol Bolas is doing a little bit of damage to them in terms of, you know, how they're able to play the rest of this game. Okay, they just exile the crab, that's fine. Play the Creeping Tar Pit and pass the turn. Opponent casts a Satyr Wayfinder, this is fine. They reveal, ooh, they got a Claim to Fame too. Ooh, and a Vengevine, eesh. Alright. Well, these Cryptic Commands are going to be very important. We are drawing 2 cards a turn, though. Return Satyr Wayfinder, that's fine. They have a Neoform in their deck, too. That's interesting. Okay. And cast a Gravecrawler. This is fine, also. Once again, this is not the axis that we're going to... We're too far behind on board for us to win the game that way. We're going to win this game by using these Cryptic Commands and doing stuff with that. Alright, so that... We'll tap all creatures your opponents control and draw a card. Cryptic Command. All right, so we actually might just be able to win with the Nicol Bolas Ultimate. I think that's how we're winning this game, is Nicol Bolas Ultimate, and I don't know if we could win the game any other way, so that's pretty cool. Right, so there's Thought Scour. Opponent exiles something. It's probably just worth casting this Thought Scour now. Just play Island, and we'll pass the turn, and then we'll Snapcaster Cryptic our opponent. Just make sure that none of these are legendary. Alright, they failed to find, which is good for us. Wait until they move to combat, and then it's probably just easiest to tap everything down with this, because that way the Snapcaster Mage, I guess we should have tapped differently, but yeah. Okay. Opponent, cast a Gravecrawler, sure. And cast a Jace, that's fine also. Can the Jace do anything interesting? Because it can cast a Neo form. I don't really know what that does for them. Alright, and we'll see what... I guess there's another item that we can get, so I guess we'll just get that. Yeah. Alright, so now this is the turn that our opponent has to do something. Okay, that's good so far. Right, beginning of combat, we will tap everything and draw a card. So one thing I just realized, that this is a legendary, so we are actually going to have to kill it with the other Snapcaster Mage. Ooh, they're going to flip. Alright, well, we can use the other Snapcaster Mage to Cryptic Command bounce it. I guess that's where we are at now. Alright, there's Blast Zone. See what the opponent does with this Jace. Sure, they're just going to plus it on that. Okay. Alright, so then we will cast Snapcaster Mage. Cryptic Command. And that's the game. So we will return target permanent to its owner's hand. Draw a card. That one. And we'll ultimate Nicol Bolas. And that's a win. Alright, so Nicol Bolas was actually really good there. It would have been rather hard for us to win that game without it, because our opponent was at 11 there. Yeah, seems pretty good. Alright, so in this matchup, Anger of the God seemed really good. Ashiok seemed good. Staticaster seems good. Damnation seems good. Surgical Extraction seemed good. The Terminates are probably not amazing. The Nicol Bolas isn't amazing, so we'll cut one. Kolaghan's Command isn't amazing. Spell Snare isn't amazing. Counter Squall isn't amazing. It's a lot of cards to cut, isn't it? We could probably cut a Logic Knot and maybe a Search for Escanta. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Just cut some of our slower cards. Keeping one Nicol Bolas in just because this is a Nicol Bolas deck. And I feel like in the Nicol Bolas deck we have to have Nicol Bolas. Alright, this hand's really reasonable. Doesn't have any hate in it. Our opponent mulliganed. I guess we'll keep it. Certainly have a lot of cards we can draw too. Surgical Extraction is one of them. Alright, we'll start with the Tar Pit. There's no reason to do anything here. We'll let the opponent make and react to it. Good to know. Oh, excuse me. Is that our opponent has 2 basics in their deck that we saw? Alright, that's fine. We can kill that. Probably bolt it just because... maybe not. Yeah, I guess we'll just push it. Push is a little bit better than Lightning Bolt in this matchup, but this way we don't have to take a bunch of damage. So I guess we just won't take a bunch of damage. Sure, Heater Crab's fine. These cards don't... I mean, I guess their opponent can try to mill us, but, I mean, they're certainly milling themselves. Sure. Trigger on the stack, because they don't want to mill over their lands, so they get a Steam Vents. Tapped. Okay. And then they mill the Vengevine. Sure, so we might actually have to use the Surgical Extraction here. Claim on the Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we will go ahead and get a red source and Thought Scour ourselves. Whoops. Thought Scour ourselves. Alright. Milled over a Cryptic Command, which is fine to good, and then we can bolt the Jace, and then we can fetch a black source here. No, we should probably we'll just fetch it. That's fine. And cast our Search for Azcanta, and then we'll hope our opponent goes for a big mill here, and then we'll surgically extract the Vengevines. That's our plan here. Sure. So another Hedron Crab is fine. Okay, so now we need to surgically extract the Vengevines. Opponent has, an Abrupt Decay in hand. Wow, and they didn't cast it this turn. That's excellent for us. All right. So our opponent has, what, a Gaddock Teague, an Unmoored Ego, 2 Scab Ruinators. That's about it in their deck. All right. Cool, so we're actually going to get to flip this Azcanta here, which is really nice. Put Nile Spellbomb in your graveyard. No, I think we'd like to draw that one. That one seems pretty good. Yeah, and we'll just play it. And pass the turn. Our opponent can claim something here if they'd like. Sure, Satyr Wayfinder's fine. Alright, they put the Scab Ruinator. Alright, so now it's probably time to bust it just because we get the both Scab Ruinators. Yeah, they just milled all 4. Okay. So I guess we'll just activate the Azcanta here and then blow the Nile Spellbomb on our main phase. Sure, we take 1. That's fine. Take the Culligan's Command. There's Damnation. That's nice too. All right. Is it worth just casting Damnation here and then popping the Nile Spellbomb for no value? Probably. Yeah, let's do that. Damnation. And then, I guess, Dark our opponent's... Okay, opponent just concedes. Perfect. Alright. On to round number 4. All right, everyone, welcome to round number 4. We will keep this hand. Our opponent is again on the play. I think we've only won 1 die roll so far. Ooh, is this a fair deck? Yes, it looks like a fair deck. Excellent. Unfortunately, this Sulfur Falls is so awkward with a Creeping Tar Pit. Like, we'd love to go Creeping Tar Pit into Sulfur Falls, but Sulfur Falls is going to be tapped. So, unfortunate. Took me a little bit time just to get ready for this match, get everything all set up, and it looks like our opponent is too. So apologize for the wait here. We'll see. The fact that our opponent just played a tap land on 1 leads me to believe that it's probably like Rock or Jund. And they might be, okay. Opponent has the upkeep stop. Okay. Yeah, we'll just start with the Creeping Tar Pit, I guess. If our opponent plays a Bob here, then sure, they kind of got us, but we have ways to draw red sources. Okay, Scavenging Ooze, that's fine. That's not one that we would have probably bolted right away anyway. Opponent is very deliberate. We have multiple Field of Ruins, which is cool. Opponent is incredibly deliberate. I'm sorry, everyone. This is, yeah, it just makes for bad content. Like, we're already 2 minutes or a minute and a half up on the opponent, and obviously, yeah, I didn't start right away, so I guess I'm being a little bit hypocritical, but this is terrible. It's just not fun to watch. It's not fun to play either. Like, I'm just sitting here on my thumbs. Sure, maybe taking 30 seconds to start the game is, whatever, but now the opponent is 2.5 minutes into just sitting around. They've played a tap land, a forest, and a Scavenging Ooze, which doesn't take that long. All right, everyone, we are back. The opponent has reconnected. We're going to play this Polluted Delta and pass the turn. Obviously, the opponent is on some sort of Rock or Jund strategy. Abzan definitely doesn't need Jund. Yeah, it looks like it might be a Rock strategy. We'll see if they play a Liliana here. I think I'm cool just taking 2 here. That Liliana. Okay, that Liliana is a little bit less scary. So we will get a Steam Vents here. Nile Spellbomb is a card. It's a Magic the Gathering card. Yeah, we'll play some Falls. We can just K command here to kill the Ooze and shock the Liliana. Just make our opponent discard. Nah, we'll do that. We'll do that a little bit later. So we'll just pass the turn here. We can also just bolt the Liliana and then play Snapcaster Mage at the end of the turn here. It's probably better to do that next turn, though, to like bolt, snap, bolt the Liliana. So maybe we'll just shock the Scavenger and make our opponent discard. Sure. Opponent does not appear to have Tireless Tracker, or they would have played it. Alright, so we'll make our opponent discard, and we will deal a couple of damage to that. Sure. Death Cloud. Interesting. All right. Wow. All right, so we'll bolt, and then we're just immediately going to snap bolt the Liliana so they can't get back to Scavenging Ooze. Sure. Opponent Fatal pushes our Snapcaster Mage, which is fine. Opponent might have a Death Cloud here, but even if they cast the Death Cloud here, I think that's fine. They're not really breaking any symmetry this way. Another Cryptic Command. Alright, well, we can cast all of our Cryptic Commands here with this mana, which is cool. So we'll play the Nicol Spellbomb with the Swamp up to pop it if we feel like we need to. Or we could just cast Cryptic Command, which is awesome. Opponent appears to be out of gas, or mostly out of gas. They might have, like, Assassin's Trophies in hand, you know, something like that. Big Death Cloud here. Grave Titan. Well, that's gonna get countered. Get out of here, stupid Grave Titan. That's almost impossible to beat. That is a really good card against us. Another Cryptic Command, alright. Play the Field of Ruin and pass. Might be worth just firing off Field of Ruin here, just to fix our mana a little bit in terms of colors. We can get another island out of it. Sure, Utopia Sprawl's fine. That doesn't do anything. They chose black. Maybe they have another Grave Titan. Ooh, Death Cloud for 3. Alright, so we will... So hold on, so if we do this and then we get blue, yeah, this will work out fine. All right, so we'll get rid of an Overgrown Tomb. Get an island just to fix our mana a little bit. And then we'll counter the Death Cloud and draw a card. Terminate, which does not appear to be very good, but might be okay. Thought Scour. Alright, so we'll start by Thought Scouring ourselves. Counter Squall. Alright. And we'll just pass the turn here. We still have our Cryptic Command up. Opponent just drew a land for the turn, which is fine, which means that we can then just blow up this Nicol Spellbomb. Drew another Field of Ruin. Okay. So it's probably worth just going after some lands then, just so that we can, like I said, continue to fix our mana and reduce the bad draws in our deck. So we'll get another Watery Grave is a fine pickup. Play that tapped, pass the turn. Opponent's probably going to concede pretty soon. We just have, I mean, we have 3 counter spells in the deck, or in our hand. We'll just counter squall that. It's fine. Pass the turn. Spell Snare is not terrible either. We do need a threat of some sort, like a Snapcaster Mage even would be excellent. Arbor Elf, that's fine. I'm not going to counter an Arbor Elf. We can even take a few hits off of that. Alright, this is a way to find another black source, which is good. The opponent holds a card in hand. See if they cast it. Tireless Tracker. Well, that's one that we should probably think about countering. All right, so I will search first to draw the card. We'll get, I guess, the red black land because we have enough blue. Opponent is being once again very deliberate. Alright, we will get the red-black land. And then we'll counter this and draw a card. Search for Ascanta, Snapcaster Mage, Tassiger, Colligan's Command. All good cards here. It's possible we should have just terminated the Tireless Tracker because they don't have a land in hand, but this does dig us a little bit deeper for a win condition. I don't really foresee us losing this game. I'm not really sure what sequence of events would have to occur for us to lose. They probably do exist, but let's see. The opponent is just, you know, we're 9 minutes ahead on them. Something that was really cool though is that the last time the opponent was just taking forever, this little clock popped up and it was like the opponent's going to time out soon, which was cool. I like that change. It seems like a positive change to the Moto interface. Okay, everyone, we're back. Apologize for that. This just makes for terrible content. I even told my opponent that, but opponent conceded the Cryptic Command. They didn't want to play games 2 or 3, so we've cashed the league, and we'll look to get the 4-1. All right, everyone, round number 5. The opponent conceded the last match after, like, salting off for a while and just not doing anything. We're going to keep this hand. This is a little speculative. Hopefully this Blast Zone comes in handy. We've got a Lightning Bolt for early interaction. This deck's good. Or this hand's good if the opponent... Oh, wow. I was going to say this hand's good if the opponent's playing control and also good if they're playing aggro. And it got a little bit better if they're playing control. Might be Phoenix again. This is the same issue we had the first time. Wow. Alright. Just get an island here. Play search for Ascanta. But yeah, this matchup seems abysmal. Especially being on the Pyromancer's Ascension. Yeah. I guess we have Blast Zone. That's not honestly the worst. Especially if the opponent's just doing that and passing the turn. What do? They put one card on top and one on the bottom. Graveyard. Thought Scour. Alright. Thought Scour herself. Try to flip this as Ascanta on the earlier side. Scalding Tarn, alright. So I guess we can flip it this turn. Okay, there's a thing in the ice, that's fine. Alright, and a sleight of hand. Alright, so we are going to be really reliant on this Blast Zone here. We can put the Blast Zone up to 2 next turn and then blow it up. Ooh, this actually might work. This is awesome. Alright, so we'll get a Blood Crypt, tapped, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, cool. So we'll probably put this in the graveyard regardless of what it is. Yeah, like that's definitely going in. Flip the Ascanta. Cool. Play a meant to play the Blast Zone. Pretty bad punt on my part. Pretty bad punt. I even said we were going to play the Blast Zone. All right. Well, hopefully we can interact with the Pyromancer's Ascension and blow stuff up later. Huh, this actually isn't terrible. Sure, we'll let that resolve. They haven't cast multiple instants yet this turn. Sure, Bolt, Noxious Revival to the graveyard, that's fine. We will activate this. Oh, we get to get Nicol Bolas or a Thought Scour. I guess Thought Scour. We're not going to be that greedy yet. We'll shuffle them. We would like those cards back. And we'll get a tapped Watery Grave here. Alright, now we'll play the Blast Zone. So we can tap down everything our opponent's doing and tick up Blast Zone. Oh no, we were 1 mana off that. Alright, so we might have to take a big hit here. We'll see. Alright, Pyromancer's Ascensions go in places. Hopefully our opponent just doesn't have 3 spells here. That would kind of be terrible. We could also do the same thing that we've done the last time, which is just to flip, tap everything and flip it. Bolts us, okay? Double opts. Alright, so with this trigger on the stack, man, we're just a turn off here. Yeah, this is rough. All right, we're going to let this resolve. We got this weird convoluted line that I think I'm going to take. What I'm going to do is Snapcast or Thought Scour ourselves and put a counter on the Blast Zone and then just blow everything up next turn. That's going to be our plan to win this game, I think. So our opponent gets to double scry here, or double opt. And then we're going to go to 7. Oh, they're going to get back the Bolt? Jeez. All right, does this change anything? All right, sure. So the Ascension copy will happen. They're going to put the other bolt on top. Has our opponent played a land yet? Let's see. All right. So this is all right. So the opponent's turn 6. So yes, they've played a land this turn. So both lightning bolts are now on top of our opponent's library. Now they're going to double opt. So now, do we want to interact with our opponent here? So they can just 12 us here. It's a lot of damage, isn't it? Oh boy. All right, so what we can do is we can Cryptic Command, tap our opponent's team, and bounce the Scalding Tarn. So that way our opponent will have to shuffle away the 2 bolts. We can also just take the same line that we did before, which would put us down to 1. Yeah, I think we got to do that. All right, so we'll tap all creatures, our opponent's control. and return a permanent. Alright, so we'll do that. Return this. Yeah. Alright, so now the opponent can opt. They draw the bolt, and they probably draw the bolt. No, they put a card on the bottom. Okay, so they have bolt and one unknown card. Alright, and then at the end of the turn here, we will Thought Scour ourselves. Alright, another cryptic command in the yard. We can put Blast Zone up to 2 here and Snapcaster terminate one of those spells. So I guess that's what we'll do, which will keep us at 14. Okay. Oh, the opponent can bolt one of them. Okay, that's fine. Sure. So the opponent attacks us. We will cast Snapcaster Mage. Target terminate. Now our opponent will probably bolt the Snapcaster Mage. Sure. Okay, so then we will terminate one of these. Black, red. Sure. And we take 7 down. Plays the Ascension or not. No, they're just going to flash back a looting. Okay. Alright, so now we'll put a charge counter on the Blast Zone. Colligan's command's not bad. Alright, so we're at 7. I guess we'll play this Swamp here, and we will pass the turn. So we can just bounce the Awoken Horror back to our opponent's hand. It's probably not the worst. So we'll cast the Snapcaster Mage. Target the Cryptic command, and then we'll just bounce the Awoken Horror back to our opponent's hand and draw a card. Oh, okay. Opponent bolts that. That's fine. Sure. Alright, so we've gotten rid of a couple of bolts now. So return, draw a card, return, and draw a card. Cool. Sure, the opponent just plays the thing in the ice. Alright, cool. So now we have a few turns on that. We can just Colligan's command, return Snapcaster Mage, make our opponent discard a card here, which is cool too. We want to stay at 7 just because that's a different bolt range, especially if we have other lands to draw. Sure, the opponent will cast the looting from the graveyard, that's fine. Discard a couple land cards. Cast Thought Scour. That's fine also. Alright, third bolt is flipped over. Alright, so now we will make you discard. So return Snapcaster Mage, make you discard. We'll go red, black, and 1. Opponent discards a bolt. Okay. And we'll activate this Kanta. And we will take a Cryptic command. So now we'll just play this and pass. We have a bunch of ways to interact with our opponent here, which is good. I think we might actually be able to pull this one out. We definitely made a mistake with that Blast Zone, but Blast Zone's been pretty good. All right, so there's Pyromancer's Ascension, so now we're probably just going to blow up the Blast Zone. Sure. Right, so now we'll just blow that up. That's fine. Sure. So we got a 2-for-1 on the Blast Zone, which is good. Opponent opts. Another Pyromancer's Ascension. Okay, so that one we will just counter and draw. Sure. Fetch. Draw terminate. And pass the turn. So now Nicol Bolas would probably be our best draw. That's fine. We'll just bolt it. Black, black, red, blue, black. Nicol Bolas. Tick up Nicol Bolas. Draw bolt. Our opponent has to either discard something or destroy a land. That's fine. They choose the land. And we'll just pass the turn. And now we'll just win with the Nicol Bolas. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just bolt that one also. Go ahead and draw Kollian's Command, which is fine. Put them back in any order. Tick up. Our opponent will either discard or... Yeah, okay, so they just get rid of a land. We'll deal them 2 damage and make them discard. 1, 2, 3, which is fine. We just don't want to... Yeah, so that's fine. Cool. There's no reason to do anything else. We'll just discard a Search for His Contact. Opponent concedes. Perfect. Alright, so Surgical Extractions are going to come in. The Ashioks will probably come in. They seem at least reasonable. They're good against both halves of what our opponent's trying to do. The Nicol Bolas doesn't seem good. We're going to keep one in just because that's the theme that we've had pretty much this whole time. Get rid of the Lightning Bolts. Maybe we should have the Damnation? Probably not. Let's just bring the Counter Squall in. That seems fine. See if we can get our revenge on this deck this time around. Because so far, Nicol Bolas has been excellent when we've resolved it. It's just like getting to the point of resolving it that's been a little bit tough, especially with the lands and stuff like that. But once we get it, we haven't lost a game where we've cast it. We also haven't really lost a game where it's rotted in our hand. So that's good. Oh boy, this hand. Opponent kept 7. And this hand doesn't really do anything. I guess it's got a turn. Yeah, we'll keep this hand. I don't think we can just throw back hands like this. It even has ways to beat one. Logic Knot's pretty good. Alright, we'll start with a Polluted Delta because we want to fetch possibly around Blood Moon. Plays this turn. What would be ideal here is if our opponent just goes for a thing in the ice. Okay, looting. This isn't terrible. Our opponent would need something like a surgical extraction in order to go off with the Phoenix here. Okay, it doesn't appear that our opponent is going off with the Phoenix, which is excellent. We'll a basic island here and Thumb Scour ourselves. Fatal Push is pretty good. Unfortunately, our Swamp is gone. Shock in a watery pass. This allows us to hold up Counter Squall as well as Logic Knot. Pyromancer's Ascension. That's probably worth Counter Squalling. Our opponent might be able to counter back, which would kind of stink, but... No. Alright, excellent. So now we'll play this Logic Knot and pass. Or play this Scalding Tarn holding up Logic Knot and pass. Another one. Alright, this time we will counter it unless they pay 2. Cool, that one also resolves. This is great. We'll get, I guess, a red here. We'll get red, blue. Yeah, we'll get red, blue. Search for Escanta. Alright. Yeah, we'll play a tapped Field of Ruin here, and the Search for Escanta. Opponent might be able to get back a Phoenix here, which is rough, but fine, I guess. At least we aren't just going to die to it this time. We do have Terminate with this Fatal Push. I suppose I also shouldn't just be F6ing here. Alright, we fought off both Pyromancer's Ascensions, which are definitely the tougher parts of this matchup. Opponent does have 5 cards in hand, however. And we're getting hit with a Phoenix down to 13. We do have answers for it, though, in hand. Opponent plays a tap land. Field of Rune's definitely going to the graveyard. That's not very good. Ooh, Spellbomb is, though. Alright, so we can... Yeah, we can cast Spellbomb. Play Field of Ruin, and then we get to make this really cool play here, which is that we can terminate the Nile Spellbomb, or Fatal Push the Spellbomb. The opponent goes to combat here. We will so bust that, holding priority, cast Fatal Push. Cool. And then we will pay black. Perfect. And then exile everything. Good. All right. That's a spicy meatball. Okay. Put Terminate in the yard. Yeah, let's do that. Transform Escanta. Draw another Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Okay, so we can terminate. We'll probably just do it now. We can terminate this so that the opponent can't do that much damage, and then we're just taking 2 here, which is fine. Okay. We have Snapcaster, Logic Knot up, or just the activation of the Escanta. Okay, opponent cast the Manamorphose, which is fine. Us. This is fine also. If we need to, but no, we'll just activate the Surgical Extraction, Thought Scour. Yeah, I guess we'll do surgical. That's fine. Scalding Tarn. Alright. Let's play that and pass again. Alright, going to 9 here. Alright, then the end of the turn, I guess we'll activate this. Take a Culligan's Command. And then we'll make, like, the world's worst Culligan's Command. We're going to destroy target artifact and deal 2 damage to that one. So we'll go black and red. See if the opponent wants to counter this. If they do, that's fine. Okay. Alright, we got those off the battlefield in a pretty hilarious way. Yeah, we'll get our 3rd black source. Spell Snare is a good draw. Pass the turn. DS content. Sure, opt is fine. Sleight of hand is fine. The number of cards our opponent has that really matters is kind of low now. That's going to get countered. We will use the Logic Knot here. And we'll counter that unless our opponent pays. I guess we'll just do 2 here. And then activate the Escanta still. Cryptic Command, go any order, and then start beating down the opponent. Draw another Cryptic Command, which is nice. Perfect, and the opponent concedes. All right, we got our revenge against Phoenix, 4-1. I think the deck is fine. I don't think that Phoenix matchup is particularly good if the opponent keeps a fast hand. But yeah, seemed to go over pretty well. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what kind of content you want to see. I'm definitely open to suggestions. I'm out of ideas right now. So please let me know what you'd like to see in the comments below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.